why I love G2 fishing.
Well, I'm super pumped. Today, in the mail, a couple of parcels arrived, and it come from one of my favourite corporates in the fishing world, and that's from Shimano. Been sponsored for those guys for a while now, and I thought I'd do something a little bit different. This year's allocation has arrived, and I'm going to do a bit of an unveiling or sort of unboxing and just show you what I've chosen, what reels and rods. I've got I suppose a bit of a ring around how much I can get, otherwise I'd get the whole shop. But I've got about 4 or 5 combos there that I want to show you and show you why I've selected each rod and reel for each purpose and what I'm going to be, I suppose, tackling them up with, what lines and leaders and those sort of things. So let's jump into it. I'm going to unveil what I've got in this little magic box here. So the first one that I'm going to unveil is the new SLX DC. This one was released last year. It's a bait caster. I took it to America when it was first released, and I used it on largemouth bass and peacock bass over there. At the time, I already had a couple of other bait casters, which I've since sort of given back. But now I've got an opportunity to get my hands on this SLX DC and really put it to the test for the next 12 months. The SLX DC, so I'll get it out of the box now. It's a nice little bait caster. It's nice and light in the hand straight away. And I suppose the thing I like about it is it's got all the creature comforts of a high-end reel with that digital control system in there. So there's 4 settings on the side here, which are set by digital control inside, which I won't go into the technicalities, otherwise I'll be gibbering a lot of crap for a long time. But basically there's 4 nice settings in there. One's for casting long all the way up to 4, which is for casting a nice little finesse casts up underneath snags and those sort of things. But a beautiful little reel for casting for things like, you know, Murray cod, and I'm going to use it for impoundment barra, and also around my local canals here for things like mangrove jack and that sort of stuff. So it's a nice little reel, nice and light, and I'm going to pair that up with the new, and it's a flash little colour on it, the new salty rods from Shimano. So this is the 12 to 20 pound rig. It's a 6-foot rod. I like a 6-foot rod for casting, for we're doing all your all-round bait casting sort of stuff. It's a nice, I suppose, fast action, but it's got that power in the butt here to really extract the fish. These are new to the Shimano range, but that there is a beautiful little bait cast, and I'm going to put it to the test for the next 12 months. Going to run 30 pound Power Pro through this, and yeah, really thumb the drag and try and catch some big fish on it. So that's my first combo there. Salty, I think it's a 12 to 20 pound rod with the SLX DC. Beautiful little outfit. So the next one I'm going to unveil is the Twin Power XG. It's a 4,000 size reel. I'm super excited to use this one. It's a new model of Twin Power, which is a bit more of a high-end reel. And it's a 4,000 size. And what I'm going to be using this one is for mainly my inshore snapper work on the big snaps on the inshore and the shallows. I'll be running 20 pound through this, 20 pound braid through it, and it'll be also used offshore from a lighter rig offshore from a large snapper, and it may be able to pull up your larger kingies and those sort of things if I do happen to hook up on them. I'll also use this for longtails and tuna in the bay. So it's a nice little reel. This one, it's supposed to have a stronger reel body than the last model of Twin Power, and just smooth as butter. Beautiful drag system on it, and it's going to be perfect for my inshore snapper work. It's going to put the brakes on the big dogs if I do hook them in the shallows. So this one here, I'm going to be pairing up, which I'm super excited to use. I'm going to be pairing this one up with the new Zodius range. The new Zodius have got all the creature comforts and I suppose the niceness of the Zodius blanks of the past, but it's got a few little extra bits and pieces, such as the carbonised rod butt and the reel seat as well has been changed up. So just a real nice light rod overall. This one here, it's a bit heavier than what I'm used to, but I'm going to be pairing that up with my 4000 twin power, and it's going to be great to use around the inshore reefs if I can ever get it hooked up. It's going to be great to use in the inshore reefs and perfect for those large snapper in the shallows. I'll be using this around Moreton Bay and also up on the Sunshine Coast for those nice shallow water snaps, and I may even take it on a couple of reef trips and try and put the brakes on some nice coral trout. But a beautiful little outfit, nice and light in the hand, be able to fish with this one all day, and I'm going to run 20-pound braid through it. It's going to allow me to cast some soft plastics, even go down to a 1/8 jig head and get me those real long casts so I can stalk those big snapper in the shallows. Beautiful little rig, this one. I'm excited to use it. So the next cab off the rank, which I really love, it's my trusted old Stratic. I've got that many Stratics laying around here. They've been such a good reel to me, but I thought I'd try the new C5000XG. It's a new Stratic to the range. Beautiful little reel. It's the 5000 size, so it's just a step up from the 4000 in the twin power. And again, I'm going to be using this thing for offshore snapper work. It's going to be a little bit heavier. I'm going to use 30 pound on this one. It's going to be able to put the stopping power on those big snappers in the deep, and also hopefully stop a few kingfish along the way. I'll also use this for hopefully some impoundment barra in that open water where you can get some nice long casts, maybe with some surface frogs and that sort of thing, which I plan on doing later on in the year. It's got that beautiful drag in it, but the good thing about Stratic, I think, is that they're a little bit more budget reel, but they're just as hardy as the high-end reels as well. Like I said, they've been one of my favourites for a long time, and I couldn't go this allocation without a nice Stratic. This 5000 is a really good size all round. I can also use it for maybe some micro jigging and that sort of thing. I'll take it up on the reef flats to use with soft plastic, but it's mainly going to be used for soft plastic work in the deep stuff. But I'll also be able to use it as a crossover into barramundi fishing and those sort of things on some of the trips up north. I'm going to pair that up with the new Blue Romance rod. I was lucky enough to have a go at one recently. Mick Guthrie used them as a rod to catch some nice sized barramundi with Wade Kelly up north in the Northern Territory. They did some filming up there, and I got my hands on it outside Mick's Blue Romance rod outside fishing for snapper and that sort of stuff, and I just thought I've got to have one of these. It'll be interesting. I'm used to a little bit longer rod in the butt, but this one here just feels nice in the hands, perfectly matched up for the 5000 size reel. And like I said, I'm going to be using it for heavy sort of soft plastic work, 5 to 10 kilo rod. It's a little bit over 7 foot. It's going to allow me to do those big long casts, and I'm going to run 30 pound braid on this Stratic. So it's going to magical little outfit, great all round outfit as well, and it's going to get a whole lot of use on the local reefs out here. So the next one I'm really excited about, because I haven't done too much with overhead reels when it comes to jigging, but I've got the Touriam 16HG. Most of the jigging I've ever done, besides in the light micro jigging range, but most of the jigging I've ever done from PE5 up to PE8 has all been on spin, and I've been seeing a lot of guys, especially experienced guys, using overhead reels when it comes to jigging. So I thought I'd get this Touriam 16HG. I haven't actually got the rod yet. I'm told the new Anthem rods from Shimano are going to be coming out very soon, so the new overhead jigging rod is going to be paired up. The new Anthem jigging rod is going to be paired up with the Touriam HG. The reason why I chose this, there's a couple of reasons, is that the Touriam HG is a little bit more a budget style reel. I know the Oshia jigger is more the high end, but the Touriam has got a bit more of a budget style about it, but it's still going to have all the top end feels. It's got nice loud drag. I'm even going to use this one for live baiting as well, but the main reason I got this is I'm going to load it with PE5, so Oshia PE5, and it's got a nice tough drag, up to 11 kilos of drag, so it's got plenty of stopping power on those large kingfish that I'm going to jig for out off here. Also going to do some work with this up north for your bigger finger mark, and also your red nannies up north, and use the micro jigs and also jigs up to sort of 150 grams or maybe even 200 grams out in the deep stuff. Beautiful reel, 6.2 to 1 gear ratio, so once you fill that spool up with PE5 line, it's going to give you plenty of speed, and it's going to allow you to get that speed to get the jig up. So it's going to be interesting, different technique to use other than the spinning reel to do your high speed stuff, which this would be capable of, but also I'll be able to slow pitch those sort of butterfly jigs and really get a different action than what your spin reel traditionally will do. So this one here, I'm really excited to use PE5, and it's going to be matched up with the PE5 Anthem jigging rod. Can't wait to use that. Last but not least is one of my absolute favourite reels, and I'm super excited because it's a new release reel. It's the Shimano Stella 18,000. It's the new type of Stella. And this one here is the absolute Ferrari when it comes to spinning reels. So I'm just going to unbox it here. Look at this thing. When it comes to spinning reels, you won't find a better reel than this. Straight away, I've noticed the handle's a little bit different. It looks a little bit stronger. I know already that they've got a new gear system in it that's lighter, but even stronger than what the last one was, which is brilliant. And there's a new drag system in there, which is going to be even better under those extreme heat conditions. When I say extreme heat conditions, when you hook those big GTs or big doggies or big wahoo and the drag goes screaming off, you usually find that the reel or the spool will absolutely heat up. And this thing here, when it's under big time load, it's going to handle, or the drag's going to handle that extreme heat without burning that drag system out. So overall, the SW 18,000 HG Stella is an all improved spinning reel when it already was. I don't know how they improve a Stella from what it was before, but they've done it, and I can't wait to give this thing a real good working over this year. Go and test it out on some extra large GTs and hopefully some top water doggies very soon. I got the 18,000 HG. The reason why I got that is it's a better reel for top water. It's got a little bit higher gear ratio, and it's just more suited to your top water applications, whereas the 20,000 is going to be more suited to your jigging applications. I'm going to be pairing the Stella 18,000 up with one of my favourite new rods, and that's a Grappler Type C. This is a PE10 model. It's a little bit over 8 foot, or I think it might be rated at 8 foot, but this one here is perfect for your big top water GTs or your top water doggies. Whenever anyone asks me about rods and reels to use for GTs, the first reel I ever go to is your Stella. If you can afford a Stella, you won't be let down. It's an absolute beautiful reel, and if you can spare those extra dollars, it will not let you down. And if you keep the services up to it, it'll last you a lifetime. So this reel here is a perfect setup with the Grappler Type C, and what I'm giving an absolute flogging to this year, hopefully on some big GTs and some top water doggies. The other thing I've ordered is a little bit of tackle, and I'm going to run through that now. Some of my lines, and I always love going through this sort of stuff. Got a nice bit of gear here, little bit of top-up stuff that brought along the way. It is coming into winter, and in Brisbane in the winter, the tiger squid come around, and we're going to do a bit of squid jigging as a family. So I've got a few of the little eggy squid jigs, 3 or 4 of those from Shimano. A whole heap of leader. So from a GT popping, I've got the Tiagra leader. It's got a nice little bit of stretch in it. It's 150 pound, it's rated to. Been using that for a while, and it's standing the test of time. I've got all the other leaders. I've got everything from 10 pound, 20 pound leaders in the Ossia. So that's the Ossia fluorocarbon. Nice leader, 10, 20, 30, and also 40. So a stack of that leader that's going to last me for the year. I've already got some 60 and 80 pound leader in the Ossia. Also some Power Pro, that's going to top up on my bait caster that I've got, the SLX DC. Got a little bit of Karaki braid, I don't know. I've used this a couple of times before, it's so silky smooth. It's a beautiful braid, and I think it's a bit of a budget cost as well. So I've got 20 pound and also 30 pound braid. They're going to go on my Twin Power and also my Stratic 5000. I've got a couple of TLDs that are rigged up for the heavy stuff from a blue marlin and also some blacks. So I've got some 300 pound and 150 pound wind-on leader, which I'll use during the year for some blue marlin fishing, and also black marlin, and hopefully some yellowfin very, very soon. But Ossia, PE8 and PE5, obviously from a Stella. I'm going to top that up on the Stella, and then also on the Touriam, I'm going to put the PE5 on there. Really nice line, silky smooth. It's a little bit of your top shelf stuff. And something that's sort of really taken off is these boku jigs. I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. But I had these up north, up at the Cape, and they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant on the coral trout and also your red nannies. But I want to put them to use off the island off here at Moreton Bay, and try them on snapper, because I think one of the Shimano anglers, Chloe down south, has been nailing some awesome big snapper down south. So I want to try them on the snapper here. And last but not least, a couple of sets of pliers. One of the little pliers. So this is the mini split ring pliers. They've got a nice little cutter on it. Going to be able to cut a 4 pound braid and also your light leaders. It's a really handy one to have for your light fishing. For your heavy duty stuff, these pliers here are absolutely brilliant. The bigger Shimano pliers and the split rings, they're going to be able to take off, or sorry, put on and off those big split rings quite easily. One of the best set of pliers on the market. I love them. And a new set of Ossia gloves. So these things breathe really well. They're nice and lightweight. You can cast with them all day and not have to take them off and on. And they are absolutely brilliant and a must if you're going to be casting top water all day. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this segment. It's a bit of an unveiling of what I've got in store for this year's fishing, and I suppose it's showing off just some of the new stuff from Shimano, which is absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant gear. I've been using it all my life, and what excites me the most is that brand new Stella. I can't wait to spool it up and go to give it a run on the big GTs offshore here. So thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, or if you need to know anything about some of the gear that I've got or any other Shimano gear, pop a question down below. I'll have a few links as well to some other bits and pieces down below. But I hope you enjoyed this segment, and yeah, might see you out in the water. Thanks for watching.